Yo, 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 yo! It is Susie Ashworth here, mind shift and messaging mentor. And how do I feel? I feel quite relaxed actually. I'm excited to share with you guys the breakdown of the launch, and I'm just going to wait until a couple of you hop on and then we will get down to business. Please let me know who you are so I can say hi. Hey Bev, one of my lovers. I'm just opening my notes because I have got all of the numbers as well, and yeah, I'm going to try and share as much as possible. Hey, Susan, another lifer. If you've got any questions throughout, hey, Kerry, or at the end, please feel free to just ask away. And I'm going to try and, yeah, be as transparent and give you as much as possible. So I want to give you a bit of context to this launch because it felt like it was something really new for me. And for those of you, and certainly those of you who are on, who have been following me for a little while, you will know from the tone of my emails, hey Shipra, hey Liz, you'll know from the tone of my emails and what I've been saying is that I've been going through an evolution and a change in what my messaging was going to be and really just how I wanted to interact with my clients. And it felt a little bit weird. Hey, Anya, you know all of this, which we chatted about this last night in our group coaching call. So don't feel obliged to stay on, love. Don't want to bore you. Yeah, so I've been going through this change and I haven't quite known what the direction I was being called to move in was, but I just knew that I had to follow it. And I think that for any of you who are moving into a new niche or finding your feet, I want you to really give yourself permission to just feel into what is calling you, because the energy that I've been in over the last 6 months is quite different from how I normally have been. The old version of me, which is kind of like push, 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 got to get it out, got to do this, got to do that. And I've really had to take a step back because I haven't wanted to put out messaging that didn't feel like me. I didn't just want to be talking about the tactics of, how to put a landing page together or how to do that, because that was totally kind of killing my soul. And I just wanted to talk about the things that were coming up, and I didn't know where it was leading me. What I have also been doing, particularly since the start of the year, is massively invested how much money that I've been spending on coaches and mentors. And so I have a coach I speak to every couple of weeks, and I'm part of a mastermind, and the stuff that has been coming out and the space that they have held for me when I've been like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm saying, has been really, really powerful for me. And from that, probably, so where are we now? September, July. So kind of going, having a good few months where I've kind of, like I say, just been finding my way. Probably June, maybe the middle of May, but I had this revelation. I think I shared with the people around the live event. I was watching a webinar training and it was all around events. And I was like, I've been waiting, like on my vision board. I'm a public speaker and people invite me to their events, and nobody was inviting me to their events. I was like, no one's inviting me. Oh, I watched this training. I'm like, oh, I'm going to put on my own event. And that was really the start of where the Limitless life experience came from. Originally, I was thinking that I would use that event to sell Gozo. but it didn't feel quite right. And as I was thinking about the event, I just allowed myself to play around with the idea of packaging up all the stuff that I have not just been learning over since the start of the year. This is stuff that I have been working on for, the last 20 years, but I just allowed myself to play with the idea that I could create something that had nothing specifically to do with the baby business world, and obviously nothing to do with birth, but really the stuff that I have been trying to edge my way into, but hadn't completely embraced, hadn't completely given myself permission to do so. And so as I decided on the event before the program, but as I moved into wanting to do the event, the Limitless Life experience really just came to life. And it felt scary, exhilarating, exciting, and intimidating, and all of those things. And I think that when you're doing something new for the first time, when we talk about ease and flow, I absolutely am a big proponent of that. But when you are looking to expand and up level and move into a new space, if it doesn't feel at all uncomfortable, if the thought of it doesn't feel uncomfortable, I don't believe that you're really growing. When you are, so for example, in the Limitless Life experience, there will already be people saying, oh, this feels scary, oh, this feels awkward, or I feel resistance. All of those things are great signs that you are expanding. And the difference between the people that do and the people that don't are the people that get very, very comfortable with the sense of being uncomfortable. Let me know if this is making sense and that you are receiving it all, because this is where the Limitless Life experience came from. So, in preparation for that event, so I think that I wanted 50 people in the room. I think actually what I wanted for that event was 100 people in the room, but there was doubt around whether I would be able to do that. And I think that that is really important. I'm going to talk a lot about intention. So I wanted 100 people in the room, but there was definitely a lot of me that felt like, is that really, really possible? I just started working with my Facebook ads guy. I want to keep his name a secret, but I'm not going to. Martin Jolly Jarvis, who is amazing. I just started working with him, and it was a big investment to be working with him on a monthly basis. But I had made the decision, so I met him at an event that I'd signed up for months before called the Bums on Seats event, and I met him and he gave a really good talk, and I made the decision in that moment when I was at the event that I was the type of person who ran live events and had great launches. And in order for me to see that through, I needed extra help. And so he was the kind of first person that I kind of brought on board to help me feel the event and ultimately go on to the challenge. So I'm going to share the numbers. So what we did in the lead up to the event is, first of all, we ran some authority building ads and credibility ads and freebie ads. So just to get people on my email list and to build up brand recognition and awareness about who I was. So I say a lot in the Baby Business School that Facebook ads, it is not useful. I've got a phone call, missed it. Oh, sorry. Facebook ads, you are not going to get the best return on investment if you just put out an ad saying buy this now to people that don't know you. in order to get people to buy from you directly from Facebook who are not familiar with you, you have to build up brand recognition and authority and credibility. And you can do that through running blog posts, you can do that through doing opt-in for my freebie, you can do that by sharing video posts. There's lots of things that you can do, and we started doing that maybe like a week or two before we were due to buy. Moving forward, because there will be events and there will obviously be other launches next year, I will do that not just 2 weeks before, you know, I will be doing that now for the next 3 months in preparation for launching or events in the new year. So the more that you're able to do that and build up your audience, the warmer they become to you, and the more likelihood, you increase your likelihood of getting cheaper conversions when it comes to paying for leads, but also increase the number of sales that you are going to get. Let me know if this is making sense. So I built up credibility and authority by running ads before I asked people to join the event. Now, I can't tell you how many people I already knew from because I don't have the event list, sorry, but that would be helpful. So I don't know how many cold people there were. And I also think that for the early birds, I allowed them or invited them to invite a friend, and I think 3 or 4 people invited a friend. And yes, I'm not sure what percentage of the audience were cold, but I do know that asking people in your newsletter once a week to join the event is not going to fill an event with 40, 50 or 100 people. So even though the ads were going to a warm audience of people that knew me and a large percentage of the people that bought knew me, those ads were good reminders that the event was happening and people needed to buy in order to get on board. So there's a lot of, it's not just about cold audiences and people not knowing you and you thinking that, oh, if I chuck in £100 or £1,000 or £5,000, then I'm going to have this massive audience. It doesn't work like that. So what we did is we spent in the lead up to that £1,126, sorry, I'm just going to get £1,267 was spent in the lead up to the live event on promoting that. What we got were 40 people who came or who bought tickets, and the tickets were priced at £1 before the event. And if people got value, then they were then charged the following day £49. That strategy is quite unusual. I took it from the webinar that I'd signed up from. And the reason that it's unusual is because most of the time, if you want a lot of people in the room, you will run a free event. The cheaper that it is, the more people that you will get, which is why people want free, you know, why people go free. The other end of the spectrum is that you charge a premium amount and you acknowledge that you're only going to get a few people in the room, but the people that have paid, they are much more likely to convert to your higher end product. And that's also something worth saying, that for events, you're very, very, very lucky if you can make your money on an event if you're just selling tickets. But the way that I structured this event, so essentially the tickets were £50, but people paid the day after. And then I added a premium, like a VIP, where I invited people to come to dinner afterwards. And I charged them £97. They paid in total £150. And then I had 30 tickets at £50. Because I structured it like that, there were no upfront costs for me. So let me just have a look. Yeah, so from the ticket sales, so there was one refund from somebody who doesn't know me. is fair enough. From ticket sales and the VIP, I made £2,881. Now I paid £1,267 on ads, about £1,000 for the venue and the additional costs there. So I was able to go to that event and just share my content. And it felt really new. It felt stuff like I hadn't shared before. There were a lot of nerves around that, but I was able to do that without the worry and the fear of not being able to pay for the venue and not being able to pay for the dinner, because I'd structured it in that way. My Facebook ads guide doesn't know if that was the best way to do it, but I really, thank you, Kerry, but for me, I would do it like that again. I thought that it was really powerful. And as I spend cash building up my audience moving forward, I think that I'm going to have the capacity to continue to do that. Now, at the event, I sold the Limitless Life Experience and 9 people signed up. So from a conversion perspective, that was amazing to have 9 of the 40 people who were in the audience say that they wanted to come on to the next step with me and go on to the next level. So what that meant from a cost perspective was, I think that was £5,373 in terms of commitment. So when I say these numbers, these are sales. It's not cash in your hand, because people pay in payment plans, so it's not all money in the bank, but £5,373. Now, also from that event, a lady who had been following me but was definitely not part of the Baby Business School crowd decided that she would like to come to Gozo. So that was another £2,500 that came from doing that event. So out of it, you're looking at £7,873, but what was put into it and everything else, you're looking at £3,267. So it's a profit of around 4.5K, just over, and a really amazing, amazing day. And I think that no, saying she could not after that great afternoon. For me, what was so powerful was the opportunity to speak from the heart and have people understand and have people get it, and not have people kind of looking at me like, okay, Suze, just stick to the Baby Business School stuff. That was really powerful for me. And in terms of my intention and the vision that I have for myself, it was really beautiful to know, okay, this is what I want. This is how I want to be, and I want to do this on a bigger scale. So that was really, really great. So that was really so that happened. I think that I had the idea. What was the event that led you to LLE? Was it the Soul Leadership? Yeah, so I think that I'd had this epiphany about soul leadership when I was working with a mentor at the end of last year, and I felt really, really called to talk about messaging and the importance of messaging. And it was interesting because I was reading an article the other day from a multiple 7-figure business owner, and he said that the 3 basics that most people miss when they're starting out in business are having the right message and marketing that to the right people at the right time. And I thought, yes, the message is the most important thing, and that absolutely came from my epiphany about what being a soul leader is. So that was the start of the launch. It didn't feel like the start of the launch, it felt like an event, and that was it. And then I kind of just started emailing. So when I was doing my newsletters, I would do a PS. If you're interested in the Limitless Life Experience, then come and have a chat with me. And I just put that at the end of every email. And from doing the event, I think so the event was on the 18th of July, and I started emailing people that week, just on my newsletter, and I emailed about it every week until when did we start? 28th of August. So probably for about 4 weeks, and then I shut it. And from that, I had another 5 people sign up, and 3 of those people were VIPs, which was amazing. I want to say at this point, I had no sales page. So if you are of the perfectionist, if you have perfectionist tendencies and you're like, I can't do this because I haven't done that, I can't do this because I haven't done that, particularly when you are working one-to-one with clients, I need you to know that it's not about your sales page. It is about your message. You know, I think it's 14 people had signed up, generating revenue of about £15,000 with no sales page. Okay, please let me know if this is computing to you. It's not about your sales page, it's about your message and letting people know, getting your message in front of people. Let me know if this is making sense, people. Any ahas, any questions, please post them in the comments. Perfect. So we kind of went under the radar. Bushra calls under the radar, and it was just really, really gentle, just letting people know that all they needed to do was get in contact with me if they wanted to talk about the program. Then I decided that I was going to launch the program with a challenge. So the last time I did the challenge was this time last year. I actually thought it was in July, but Karen, the lovely Karen, posted a video that she had done saying, this is about me, which was probably day 1 of the challenge. And last year was hard. Last year was super, super hard. I did it for 10 days and it was a visibility challenge, and I essentially watched, we had 160 people sign up. I spent a very little amount of money on ads, but nothing that was noteworthy. It had 161 people sign up. 80 of those people were already in the baby business school, and the idea was that I would be relaunching the baby business school. And it was really hard, and it was really stressful, and I think I spent hours and hours and hours and hours watching these videos, which were not like 1 or 2 minutes, some of them like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it was really tough. And it's why I haven't done a challenge. Again, it's taken me a whole year to do a challenge. And I wanted to approach this differently. And the first thing that I did was I took it from 10 days to 5 days. Oh my God, I was talking about the challenge to my masterminders yesterday, and I cried because it was so amazing. I loved it so much. But I just want to check the questions here. It's amazing, thank you. How do you do that without a sales page? You talk to people, Shifra. You talk to them, that's all I've done. So I did it at an event, so I had a captive audience, and you know, I talked to them, and then I emailed people and they said, do you want to talk to me about it? And they spoke to me, and if they felt like a good fit, I would tell them about the program. I would tell them what they could expect to get from it, and ask them if they wanted to sign up. And they said yes. The people that were a good fit for it said yes. I sent them the PayPal link, and they were in the program. It was as simple as that. Also, I asked earlier about breaking out of your niche. I didn't see that. Can you re-put the question in? So yes, I decided I was going to do this challenge. Now, my coach has said it, the lovely Bushra Azar said it earlier on, because I did a little kind of testimonial video for her. And the theme of this launch was calm and ease. And that was really, really important to me. I did not want to be like, hi, amazing. And then like afterwards be like, this is terrible. Like, I really wanted to be calm, and I just wanted to allow the flow. And so I put the challenge together. I wanted it to be simple but powerful. And the only doubts in my mind when I was putting the challenge together is I wondered if it was too simple. I wondered if people were going to get enough out of it. And I also, because the program is called the Limitless Life Experience, there were question marks about whether it was going to be a really natural next step for people. So if you were my client, I would be saying, if you're going to do a challenge about messaging, then it makes loads of sense to then go on to talk about a program about messaging. And whilst messaging is in my program and it's the second adventure that everybody takes, there was a little bit of a question mark about whether it was going to be really easy for people to take that step. But that is what I felt called to do. And so I went for it. And I did the challenge, and it was the most amazing experience for me, being able to see so many breakthroughs, so many people just being willing to go there, seeing how powerful just a couple of simple questions were, and just seeing them run with it, and having people be like, I've got 27 likes on my page, and I've just got a booking inquiry, and this and that, and it was amazing. And I will definitely do challenges again. There are lots of moving pieces in challenges, and what I would say is that what allowed this launch to be really calm and full of ease is having two amazing people within my support team. So Tara, who many of you will know, and Vidya, who is my tech support, and they absolutely nailed it for me. So lots of the stuff that I was doing last year, I just didn't have to do, and they really allowed it to go smoothly for me. The other thing I did is I really set some clear expectations about the fact that I wouldn't be commenting on every single video. Now, as it happens, the videos were amazing. I did comment on loads and loads of videos. There was loads of interaction, but it felt like I was doing it because I wanted to do it, not because people were tagging me saying, I need you to feedback, which is what they were doing last year, which I found really challenging. Now, what I've missed out is probably the most important part, that from the moment I decided on the Limitless Life experience concept, I started thinking about how amazing it was going to be to have my goal, my target number of women in the group, in the experience. And so what I did is I had a minimum number of 30, God, that would be amazing, 50, and get out of town, that would be freaking crazy if I had 70 women in there. And from the moment that I thought about the Limitless Life experience, I kept on thinking, ruminating, doing manifesting walks, doing my Funk Buster challenges, doing all of my myriad of mindset, mind shift and manifestation exercises around having 50 women. Now, I didn't once think about the cash. I always thought about the number of women that I was going to work with. And seriously, if you had seen me walking in the mornings, like, I would go on live. This happened more than a couple of times to my group mastermind, like in tears, like, oh, I just wanted to share this with you. And I was so in the zone of imagining how amazing it was going to be to get 50 of the most perfectly aligned women into this group, and so already appreciative of the transformation that was going to happen. And there was so much beautiful, fun, lovely mindset work around this launch and around the launch of this product, but it felt so normal, it felt so just standard part of the process. Now, I did do some money mindset work, but it was never in relation to the launch. And so I think I talked about it in a video a couple of weeks ago, just about manifestation walks and chunking down your goals and, thinking about what your daily income would be to hit your goals. And I definitely did that, but it was never in relation to this launch. So loads and loads and loads and loads of mindset work. So I decided I was going to do the challenge, and I knew that what I wanted was 1,000 women in the challenge, because then I thought if I convert at around 5%, that's my 50 women. And so I set my Facebook ad budget with Martin, which was £5,000, and the aim was to get 1,000 women in. Now, we didn't get 1,000 women into the challenge. In the end, it was 551. And there was a point when we were doing the challenge, and Martin looked at me and was just like, the ad spend is going up, you're paying more for your conversions. And I was just like, okay. Instead of freaking out and thinking, if I've only got half the number, then I can only expect half the people. Like, that did not cross my mind at all. But I was really connected with, it's going to be fine. And I will get the perfect number of people in. So let's just keep the budget at the budget. We ended up going a tiny little bit over. Let's keep the budget at the budget and let's see what happens. Now, I want to break down the spend for the ads. I ended up paying £6.35 per lead, which is really, really good for the target audience and this type of challenge. So in total, with the event and the challenge, I ended up spending £7,000 on ads. And for the challenge, I think we ended up spending like 5,551. But on actual conversion ads, so for ads that were specifically saying to people, do you want to sign up for Master Your Message, we only spent £2,365, which was really interesting to me. I thought that it was a lot higher, but what I had done is combined all of the spend. So the spend on, I had a freebie, baby business school or baby business checklist. I had a mindset hacks for my new audience. And then I did lots of authority building ads. So I promoted Mumsnet. I think I had a messaging video. And that money is all in that £7,000. It was not scary. It wasn't scary to spend that investment, even though I hadn't kind of reverse engineered it and worked out how much I would be generating if I got 50 women in. It wasn't scary. It was just, it felt like enough of a stretch for me. It felt like this is the type of action. I'd already decided back at the Buns and Seats event that I was the type of person who had great launches. And in order for that to happen, because my email list is still relatively, it's not relatively, it's still small, it's still tiny. Whereas other people can get a lot, and my page is still tiny. So whereas other bigger brands can get a lot from their Facebook page or from their email list, that wasn't an option for me. And so I took a calculated risk, and that felt like an amount that if the worst case scenario should happen and no one else bought, it wouldn't ruin me. And I'm laughing because I got really shit scared. I said in my newsletter this week, I got really shit scared because I hadn't been tracking my expenses, and I had a crazily high expense month last month. So it would not have been good if no one else bought the program. However, that's how I made the decision. And I think that this is really important for you if you are looking to up-level your business, if you're looking to expand, you have to think about the actions you're taking from a place of already being where you want to be. Because if you take actions from where you are now, you'll shit your pants and never do anything. And you won't get the expansion. So you have to be able to, again, it's that sense of feeling comfortable with the uncomfortable, take calculated risks. And for me, that was a calculated risk that I was able to take the hit on. Anyway, we did the 5 days. It was amazing. And I ended up doing my, that's time. I ended up doing my pitch on the Friday for the course, which was also amazing, because I've done webinars before, and I've been on webinars before, and usually people give the value. Normally it's not that much value, and then they kind of go in for the pitch and everybody kind of just buggers off. And it was really lovely that I was able to give my value about the day 5, then talk about the program, and people didn't bugger off. They were interested in hearing what was next. And I absolutely believe that's because of the value of the content that was shared during the 5 days. And so I gave a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you know, I was feeding back in lives like this, but also directly on people's content, and they felt like they got a lot of value. So don't be afraid of giving too much. I don't think that you can give too much, as long as you've got a whole load more that you can be offering. And obviously there are ways to structure your content in powerful ways, which I will be sharing with my beautiful Nipers. So I'm not going to go into that in detail here, but it was because I gave a lot of value, and it was because I wasn't scared of doing that, that I believe that people were interested in the program. The other thing is that I was selling, talking from the heart and being really authentic in your messaging. And people felt that. There was an alignment between how people perceived me and what it was that I was selling. And I was very clear, again, because of the feedback actually from the challenge. I really knew what people liked, what they didn't like, what they found uncomfortable, where they felt fearful around their visibility, and all of that stuff, regardless, all of that stuff was the reason that they wanted to then invest in the Limitless life experience, because I was talking about releasing them from their fear of judgment, confidence, you know, all of that stuff, as well as helping them with their business by focusing on the most important thing, which is messaging. So yeah, we ended up on 52 people signing up, which was amazing. And I'm sure, hopefully not many, but I'm sure there will be some refunds. But, you know, in terms of revenue, sales, it was £47,532, which is just, for me, when I totted it up, it was like, oh, this is the dream. You know, I used to earn maybe a little bit more of that in a year, and 6 weeks of just tuning into my purpose and my mission and being of service and in visualizing the perfect people, all of that. So strategy for sure was important, but really connecting with who I want to be and who I am, and sharing from that space is the reason that people signed up, I believe. So that's the breakdown. That is the breakdown. You just see the shift for here. You said that it wasn't specifically for baby business schoolers. Once you choose a niche though, what made you decide to break out of it? I think that it's not so much, I don't just want to talk about, I believe that it's not, the baby business school started off teaching people marketing tactics, and I love that course. I think it's an amazing program. But what I've seen is the people that have been the most successful with that program they understand the importance of mindset and heart and messaging. And so because they've got their mindset, or they're willing to work on their mindset and their heart and their messaging, the tactics have fallen into place. I know that the stuff that I teach in the Baby Business School and the stuff that I teach in Limitless Life Experience is universal. And so whilst I will always have a big, strong audience in the pre and postnatal market because of the work that I've done with the Calm Birth School, I want this message to go out to anybody who is interested in mindset, shifting their mindset into manifestation, into understanding the universal energies, into understanding how you can co-create your life. You can literally choose to live the life that you want to live. And that isn't just a message for people who have baby businesses. And so that's why with this campaign, I had 2 different ad sets, one for baby business owners and one for people who were into what I call soul leaders. So into leading with soul, who want to make a big impact, entrepreneurs, service-based, who are interested in mindset and all of the woo-woo stuff. Kerry, do you make those decisions by yourself, Susie? How long do you spend considering that kind of spend? Which decisions were you talking about? And do you mean, do I talk to my husband about it? I absolutely do not talk to my husband about what I'm going to be spending on Facebook ads. I do not speak to him about what I'm going to be spending on coaching, because he would freak the fuck out. He is very supportive of me. So when I was saying, don't spend too much on my expenses, I speak to him about that, which freaks him out. And I think to myself, I shouldn't speak to him about that. I should really speak to my coach about that, because she's going to be able to handle it. I look at what how did I make the decision that I was going to spend £5,000? I did the numbers, actually. So I thought to myself, 1,000 people in the challenge, I want to spend £5 a lead. If I spend £5 a lead, then I'm likely to, and I've got 1,000 people in the challenge, then I will be able to get around 50 people. As I said, I didn't work out what that would be in terms of revenue, but that was my thinking around it. I didn't think about it too much, actually. I'd already made the decision when I'd hired a Facebook ads person that I wasn't going to mess around. There's no point spending, a significant sum on a Facebook ads person to manage your Facebook ads if you're then only going to spend £500 on a campaign. You might as well do that yourself. So the decision had already been made, and it's just about following through. Lauren, massive value. Thank you. Hey, Mark, I invested in you. Thank you so much. It was you that I bought into. Incredible content, absolute ninja. Thank you so much. Don't make me cry. Honestly, like, the vibe in the group is just so intensely amazing for me. I feel so lucky and honoured to have this opportunity. We've got a small person, maybe Nick. She's not naked, so that's helpful. I'm just coming in. Coco, she's starting school tomorrow. Right, give me a kiss. No,
I'm going to study tomorrow.
I know you are. Can you go to study? Because Mummy's just on live at the moment. I'll come and see you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Say bye. You should be really proud. Thank you. I feel I'm over the moon, and I feel like it's just the start, and I want to share. I'm happy to share the strategy. I absolutely know that it's not about the strategy, it's about what's up here, and I'm looking forward to sharing more and more and more of that stuff, because yeah, it works. It works. Heaven Unleashed. Woo woo me up, says Susan. Woo woo warrior every day. So quick and exciting. It is about ad spend, like with your coach or your team. No, don't talk to my team about it. I didn't even talk to my coach about it. No, I just did it. I'm literally tripping over money. It's flying at me. Nice and ticket, Coco. Yeah, so look, if you've got any other questions, feel free to fire them at me. Yeah, I am super, super happy to answer any questions that you have. For those of you who are interested in working with me one-to-one, 80% mindset, 20% strategy, then drop me a PM. My September and October places have been filled by some amazing badass ladies, but starting in November and December, totally open, you beauties. So just give me a shout. Right. Oh, teach a woman, you teach the world. Exactly. Exactly. And I've got some exciting stuff coming up for you, ladies. So excited around money, which feels really good and pertinent at this particular stage. I can't wait. My life is going to get a preview of that in a few weeks' time. But yeah, I've got something exciting coming up about that. And yeah, more limitless life in the new year. It's going to be epic. I'm excited. Right, I don't think there are any more questions. So look, thank you so much. And there will be a blog post breaking it all down as well. But I hope that is useful and inspiring for you to go out there and do it. I think that the one thing that I want to say to you is that so many of you here have got big dreams, and whilst you absolutely do not need to spend £5,000 on ads tomorrow, I think that when you are able to connect with the thing that you love so much, be really clear on the vision that you have for who you want to be and how you want to impact the world, and step into that vision now. Do not wait until you've perfected your sales page or got a perfect website, because that's the other thing. In fact, my blog post is going to be all the things I haven't got. My website is still like, the branding, I've got like pink and blue and red and yellow, where it's half branded, half not. Like, none of that stuff matters. It's what's in here and how you choose to communicate that. That's the most important thing. Step into the highest vision you have for yourself. You can do this. Mwah. Love you so much.